What do the two of you like to do for fun if you're not working?
To have dinner, sometimes quiet dinner or dinner with friends and listen to the music, all kind of different musics.
I hear he likes to be the DJ.
He likes to be the DJ, and it's very fun night when he does that.
Their brains are small, but who's the dumbest one of all? True, none of them are in Mensa, but who's the most densa?
That thing needs a laugh track. It needs a laugh track.
For over 2 decades, The View has held court as the undisputed queen of daytime talk, a raucous arena where diverse opinions collide, sparks fly, and controversies are as much a part of the show as the opening theme song. But lately, a perfect storm of scandal has descended upon the show, threatening to capsize the ship entirely. What began as a series of pointed remarks has escalated into a full-blown crisis, complete with multi-million-dollar defamation lawsuits, a panicked exodus of advertisers fleeing the wreckage, and a raging inferno of public outrage demanding nothing less than the show's immediate cancellation. Did Sunny Hostin's fiery words, like a match thrown into a tinderbox, just ignite the fuse that will ultimately detonate The View? Buckle up as we unravel the untold story behind the show's dramatic collapse, revealing the behind-the-scenes chaos, the legal maneuvering, and the potential consequences for the entire media landscape.
So, Sunny Hostin, you better watch what you say about somebody else, because your husband gonna be down there with Big Tony. Your husband, these people, the audacity. Her husband is being accused of something that's far more egregious than what they claim did.
The first tremor in this unfolding earthquake originated with comments directed squarely at Greg Gutfeld, the conservative comedian and pundit who has defied expectations to become a genuine force to be reckoned with in the late-night television realm. Sunny Hostin, a staunch liberal voice on The View, didn't simply express disagreement with Gutfeld's political viewpoints, she went significantly further, attacking the very core of his appeal and questioning the intelligence and sophistication of his devoted audience.
As you may heard, I filed a few lawsuits, and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
She characterized Gutfeld's fans as angry, undereducated men who were blindly seeking validation for their own pre-existing biases, essentially painting them as intellectually stunted and easily manipulated. This characterization ignited a firestorm of criticism, with many accusing Hostin of exhibiting a blatant display of elitism and condescension, suggesting that she viewed herself as intellectually superior to both Gutfeld and his viewers. Critics argued that Hostin's remarks were not only deeply insulting, but also deeply harmful, perpetuating damaging stereotypes and fueling the already toxic atmosphere of political polarization. Instead of engaging in thoughtful debate or attempting to understand opposing viewpoints, she resorted to personal attacks and broad generalizations, effectively demonizing an entire group of people based on their political affiliations. This approach, many argued, was not only counterproductive, but also deeply irresponsible, further widening the divide between left and right and undermining the principles of civil discourse. Moreover, some observers interpreted Hostin's comments as a calculated attempt to diminish Gutfeld's success and undermine his credibility, perhaps motivated by jealousy or a desire to protect the dominance of more traditionally liberal voices in the media landscape. The situation seemed ready to escalate as the public wondered what Greg Gutfeld and the targeted viewers would do to right what some believed to be a blatant wrong.
Perhaps it's Sunny who mastered the art of making idiots look smart. Now, The View could ask a mirror who's the dumbest one of all, but there's no way that glass doesn't shatter. So instead, let's check out this clip from Monday's episode of The View when the ladies put their science caps on and discuss the solar eclipse.
If the Gutfeld incident was a simmering pot of resentment, Sunny Hostin's subsequent comments directed at Melania Trump were like tossing a Molotov cocktail into the mix. She didn't merely offer criticism of the former First Lady's policies or public image. She launched a deeply personal and arguably objectively defamatory assault, labeling her a trophy wife and pointedly suggesting that she was complicit in her husband's alleged criminal wrongdoings. The term trophy wife, with its inherent connotations of superficiality, dependence, and a lack of independent agency.
I know, right? I mean, I have to say, Karen Dupiche, our wonderful, one of our wonderful makeup artists, when the earthquake was happening, she put her coat on and she was like, Jesus is coming.
I'm out.
I'm out. I'm leaving. We've got a solar eclipse. We've got the earthquake. She ran down the hallway.
The rapture is here.
The rapture's here.
Struck many as a particularly vicious and sexist attack, reducing Melania to nothing more than a beautiful object devoid of intellectual substance or personal merit. This attack was a clear attempt to demean and degrade. It brought her down and diminished her past achievements and future potential. Moreover, the implication that Melania was somehow complicit in her husband's alleged misconduct was a serious accusation, suggesting that she had actively participated in or knowingly condoned illegal or unethical activities. Such a charge, if unfounded, could be considered deeply defamatory and potentially expose Hostin and ABC to significant legal liability. The comments ignited an immediate and overwhelming wave of outrage among Melania's supporters and defenders, who accused Hostin of engaging in blatant character assassination and perpetuating harmful stereotypes about women in positions of power. Sources close to Melania reportedly described her as being absolutely livid at Hostin's remarks, viewing them as a calculated attempt to undermine her legacy as First Lady and to inflict lasting damage on her personal reputation. She seemed to feel the need to stand up to the accusations. The world watched as it waited for a potential countersuit.
Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She destroyed the rose garden. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want to have anything to do with him.
about that.
She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him. I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly. That's why I say allegedly.
Eyes told Sunny, yes.
I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the First Lady anymore.
Greg Gutfeld, a skilled comedian and a seasoned media strategist, did not hesitate to respond to Sunny Hostin's attacks with his trademark blend of sarcasm, wit, and unbridled aggression. He didn't simply issue a polite rebuttal or attempt to smooth things over. Instead, he launched a full-scale counteroffensive on his own late-night platform, dedicating a substantial portion of his show to dissecting Hostin's arguments and exposing what he perceived as their inherent hypocrisy and logical fallacies. He skillfully weaponized his comedic talents, delivering a series of pointed jokes and satirical sketches that lampooned Hostin's views and ridiculed her perceived intellectual shortcomings. One of the most memorable lines from his response was a scathing observation that, if bitterness were an Olympic sport, Sunny Hostin would undoubtedly be the reigning gold medalist. This zinger quickly went viral, becoming a rallying cry for those who felt that Hostin's remarks had crossed the line into personal attacks and unfair vilification. But Gutfeld's response was not limited to mere humor. He was also reportedly determined to seek tangible accountability for what he considered a reckless and irresponsible attack on his reputation and the reputation of his viewers. Behind the scenes, he began quietly assembling a team of high-powered attorneys, experts in defamation law and media litigation, to explore the possibility of filing a lawsuit against Hostin and ABC. He seemed prepared for a long and complex legal battle, signaling his determination to hold The View accountable for their words and actions. Little did the show know the First Lady would assist.
Amazing. Oh. That's not what I read.
In a move that stunned the media world and dramatically escalated the conflict, Melania Trump made the unexpected decision to join forces with Greg Gutfeld, forming an unprecedented alliance between a former First Lady and a late-night comedian. Having largely retreated from the public eye since leaving the White House, Melania had previously maintained a relatively low profile, rarely engaging in public disputes or offering commentary on political affairs. However, Sunny Hostin's remarks, with their deeply personal and arguably defamatory nature, apparently struck a nerve with Melania, prompting her to take decisive action to defend her reputation and challenge what she perceived as an unfair and unwarranted attack. Insiders reported that with the full backing and encouragement of her husband, former President Donald Trump, Melania reached out to Gutfeld and offered her support, pledging to contribute her considerable legal resources and public relations expertise to the cause. This alliance was met with both shock and awe, as observers struggled to make sense of the unlikely partnership. Some saw it as a strategic masterstroke, combining Gutfeld's media savvy and legal acumen with Melania's power, while others were more cynical, viewing it as a desperate attempt to revive flagging careers. With the combined legal forces of Gutfeld and Trump now arrayed against them, The View found themselves facing an unprecedented barrage of legal scrutiny. Attorneys reportedly launched an exhaustive investigation into the show's history, poring over transcripts, reviewing video footage, and interviewing former employees in an effort to uncover any evidence of a pattern of irresponsible reporting, biased commentary, or potentially defamatory statements. As the investigation progressed, troubling allegations began to surface, painting a disturbing picture of a show that allegedly prioritized sensationalism and controversy over factual accuracy and ethical conduct. Some sources claim that The View had a long-standing practice of scripting controversial segments in advance, deliberately crafting provocative storylines and inflammatory statements in order to generate buzz and boost ratings. Others allege that the show had systematically targeted certain individuals for criticism and ridicule, creating a hostile and toxic environment where their reputations could be unfairly damaged. These allegations, if proven true, could have devastating consequences for The View, potentially exposing the show and its parent company to significant financial penalties and reputational damage. What actions would these legal allegations result in? The public waited to see. As the legal battles intensified and the allegations of misconduct continued to mount, The View began to experience a significant backlash in the form of lost advertising revenue and plummeting public support. Major sponsors, increasingly sensitive to public opinion and eager to avoid any association with controversy, began to pull their advertisements from the show, resulting in a sharp decline in revenue and putting significant financial pressure on the network. At the same time, a groundswell of public outrage erupted across social media platforms, with thousands of viewers expressing their anger and disappointment over what they perceived as the show's biased reporting and reckless attacks. Hashtags such as "Cancel the View" and "Justice for Melania" and Gutfeld began trending worldwide, fueled by impassioned fans and supporters who felt that the show had finally crossed the line and needed to be held accountable for its actions. The economic consequences of this backlash were severe, putting the show's future in serious doubt and prompting ABC executives to consider a range of options, including a potential restructuring of the show's format or even its complete cancellation. Could this legal storm and public outcry force the show off the airwaves for good? Behind the scenes at The View, the atmosphere reportedly devolved into a state of near-total chaos, with finger-pointing, infighting, and a general sense of panic gripping the show's cast and crew. Long-standing alliances began to crumble, as co-hosts turned on one another, attempting to deflect blame and protect their own reputations. The previously cordial and supportive environment of the show was replaced by a climate of suspicion and resentment, as each individual struggled to navigate the increasingly treacherous waters. Whoopi Goldberg, as the show's moderator and de facto leader, reportedly found herself struggling to maintain order and control, desperately trying to quell the infighting and reassure nervous staffers that the show would weather the storm. Joy Behar, a veteran co-host who had been with the show for many years, was rumored to be considering retirement, weary of the constant controversies and increasingly disillusioned with the state of daytime television. And of course, all eyes were fixed on Sunny Hostin, the woman whose words had ignited the crisis in the first place. Her future on the show remained deeply uncertain, as many speculated that she would ultimately be forced to take the fall in order to appease angry viewers and advertisers and salvage what was left of the show's reputation. With the show in turmoil, what was the end game? Amidst the public spectacle of lawsuits and social media outrage, whispers began circulating about frantic negotiations taking place behind closed doors. ABC executives, desperate to contain the damage and avoid a protracted legal battle, were reportedly engaging in intense discussions with representatives for both Gutfeld and Trump, seeking to reach a settlement that would satisfy all parties and prevent the crisis from spiraling further out of control. These backroom dealings allegedly involve significant sums of money, promises of future opportunities, and perhaps most controversially, demands for certain individuals to issue public apologies or even resign from their positions. Some sources claim that Sunny Hostin herself was under immense pressure to take responsibility for her remarks and publicly apologize to Gutfeld and Trump, while others suggested that the network was considering offering Gutfeld his own daytime talk show as a way to appease him and avoid a costly legal battle. The details details of these negotiations remained shrouded in secrecy, but the very fact that they were taking place underscored the gravity of the situation and the lengths to which ABC was willing to go in order to protect its reputation and its bottom line. But how would the drama end? In the end, the once unshakable reign of The View came crashing down, not with a bang, but with the slow, agonizing whimper of a show that had lost its way. The weight of the lawsuits, the sponsor exodus, and the relentless public scrutiny proved too much to bear, ultimately leading to the show's cancellation after a final, subdued season. Sunny Hostin, once a prominent voice on the show, became a pariah, her career forever tarnished by the scandal. Greg Gutfeld, vindicated and emboldened, saw his own star rise even further, solidifying his position as a leading voice in conservative media. And Melania Trump, after securing a public apology and a substantial settlement, retreated back into private life, having successfully defended her reputation against what she perceived as an unfair and unwarranted attack. The story of The View serves as a stark warning for the media landscape in the age of outrage. It highlights the dangers of prioritizing sensationalism over substance, of sacrificing journalistic integrity for the sake of ratings, and of allowing personal animosity to cloud judgment and fuel reckless attacks. It reminds us that in the long run, respect, responsibility, and accountability are essential for maintaining trust and preserving credibility in a world where every word can be amplified and scrutinized like never before. The final message of The View remains: check your facts, check your sources, and respect the reputations of those you're covering. Now, what show will step in to fill the void?